Hi, Jason Knott with CE Pro, and today we are talking about lighting and in particular landscape lighting with John Bowman, National Sales Director at Coastal Source. Hi, John.
Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining me today. Let's jump right into it. So Coastal Source was the first company that focused on high performance landscape lighting and targeted towards the custom installation industry. Why is landscape lighting and why did you guys see landscape lighting as such a viable niche for the custom integration channel?
Sure. That's a great question. Many of the integrators, are controlling lighting in the entire home, and many specialize in low voltage interior installations, and many already, are doing things outdoors, whether it's security cameras or outdoor audio, or expanding their clients' network. And the great outdoors is a natural progression for the integrator. And there's tons of opportunity, that you just drive around at night in your neighborhood, and you'll see for yourself. I mean, there's a ton of dark streets and homes that just aren't lit or aren't well lit. So each one of those is an opportunity for an integrator to go in there and sell the exterior lighting.
And we've seen during the pandemic, and especially when it first started out, customers were maybe reticent to have a integrator inside their home, but the outdoor market was just chugging along, and they were very comfortable. So it was a great niche, not just the entertainment side of it, with Coastal Sources got a great outdoor audio system also, but also the lighting element. So what differentiates Coastal Source in terms of its ease of installation and its connections? I know you have a unique connection element to your product.
Yeah. So, as we came from the installation side, our sister company, Design Source, down in the Florida Keys. And so we learned a lot. We learned the hard way, really. No matter how good your guys are in the field at making connections, over time, there always seems to be a failure. And the connection is really the weakest link. So our patented plug and play cabling system, it was really foolproof. And that was one of the first things that we came out with. We knew that we could have a great light fixture and a great speaker, but the thing that really delivers the audio signal or the power to the light is the cable. And if that's no good, it really, the whole system's failed. So this plug and play system installs in about 50% less the time, and makes adding to the system down the road super easy.
And I know you have a new line that you wanted to mention from a product standpoint. You've upgraded a recent line on the landscape lighting side.
Yeah, so when we first got into the business, we started with the staple lighting products, the MR16 bullet lights and the path lights and things like that. And as we've grown with our dealers throughout the country, and we've listened to what their wants and needs are, what the trends that we're seeing is people don't want to see the fixtures. So the scale of the fixture is very important. So several years ago, we launched what we call the niche line of fixtures, which is a tiny little self-contained fixture that, depending on the shroud that you put on there, controls the light. So now we're developing a number of what we call niche flex fixtures, which come with different types of installation applications that come out of the box ready to go, whether it's a path light, whether it's a directional light, whether it's a light where you need to angle to down or up. So we're really expanding that because it's really what our customers and what their clients are asking for is, still that same light output, but coming from a very, very much smaller driver.
So most custom integrators don't have experience in lighting design. How different or difficult or easier is landscape lighting design from interior lighting design, and how does Coastal Source assist integrators with design?
Sure. In Jason, in many ways, it's very similar, to interior lighting. We have focal points. We're concerned about the light intensity color temperatures, they're all important with landscape lighting. But really what sets things apart is the installation standpoint with landscape lighting. It's much more forgiving than doing lighting in the interior environment. If a landscape low voltage fixture is not in the right spot, we simply just pull it out, move it 5 feet. If we need to add another cable, it's easy to do, and we're back in business. Because the installation code in most states is that the cable's buried merely 6 inches in the ground. We're not competing with other infrastructure such as water, line voltage, or gas. Unlike the interior applications, fixtures are positioned, and really are limited by ceiling joists, HVAC ducts, etc. So, and not to mention that if you have to move a fixture after it's sheetrocked, that becomes a lot more difficult to do. You got to repair the sheetrock and so forth. So it really is. It has some similarities, but really from an installation standpoint, it's much easier.
So from the design standpoint, is there some sort of guideline for integrators in terms of intensity of the light based on the size of the plant or the color on the wall, or is it really subjective when you're doing that lighting design outdoors?
Like any design, especially lighting, it is subjective, but there are some rules of thumb that we have as part of our training process for our dealers to understand what are the sort of the basics that you need to know, whether it's color, temperature, beam angles, light intensity, and things like that.
So one of the unique stories that I've heard from integrators who are doing landscape lighting is their ability to sell service agreements on those based upon plants grow, and those lights need to be adjusted. And obviously, landscapers come in and cut wires and do all sorts of different things and damage things. And then there's also elements like the lenses possibly getting dirty from hard water deposits and those sorts of things. What do you tell integrators, or what's your advice to integrators who might be thinking about the possibility of earning a recurring revenue stream from landscape lighting service contracts?
Number one, it's a great way to develop that reoccurring income. No matter what product you're installing, all landscape lighting fixtures will need to be serviced. Okay. Remember, Mother Nature is brutal out there, not to mention, like you said, the landscape maintenance contractors who abuse the fixtures on a weekly basis in many cases. With the Coastal Source product, our dealers are not making repairs. That's number one. And as we all know, repairs don't make anybody any money. Our dealers are maintaining the systems and making enhancements to the lighting systems as that landscape grows. That's the beauty of it. It's all modular system. So as the shrub grows, we can add the riser and make it taller. If we need to go from a floodlight to a bullet light, we can make that very easily, that change. So enhancements and upgrades like that, with the Coastal system are super easy and very profitable.
All right, last question. You have experience from your background as a landscape architect. What advice would you give to integrators about how they can work well with landscape architects?
Sure. To my knowledge, still to this date, there is not one single accredited college course that a landscape architect takes that teaches you about landscape lighting, which is really surprising. But so most LAs come out with a degree, not having the ability or knowledge of lighting. Many are unfamiliar, and quite frankly, they just don't have the time to specify it. So my suggestion is become their resource, their go-to guy. Offer the service to walk the entire site, gather the information, provide a design with details and specifications, a meaningful document that can add real value to what they're presenting to their client. And remember, if you choose to go with our design service, which is something that we offer, whether it's a simple quick estimate or a full-fledged design, we do most of the heavy lifting for you. So we can help you develop that package that really gains that confidence and that trust with that specifier.
Okay, John Bowman, Coastal Source, thanks for joining CE Pro today.
Cool, great. Thanks for the time, Jason. Appreciate it.